What's up, y'all? It's JD. I'm a 40-year-old hybrid athlete and personal trainer. I use calisthenics, weightlifting, and running as my primary modalities of training. And today we're going to talk about the age issue when it comes down to calisthenics. What age is too late to start training calisthenics? So I recently got back to the Bay Area, but before then I was visiting my mom out in Portland, Maine. And out there they have this gym I like to go to called Foley's Fitness. So if you guys are ever in Portland, Maine, I highly recommend you go get a day pass or a week pass to Foley's Fitness. It's a beautiful gym, great equipment, good vibes, really friendly people. But while I was in that gym the last day of our trip to Maine, I saw something I almost couldn't believe. And I was doing just some accessory work and I looked over and I see this older gentleman attempting to hit a front lever. I was caught off guard. He was pretty close to hitting a front lever. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but the amount of strength that the guy had to even get into a bad form full front lever was amazing to me. So, I had to go up and start up a conversation with the guy. And he told me that he was 70 years old. And number one, the guy didn't look 70. He was in some phenomenal shape. But number two, to be 70 years old and to have the mindset to train a movement as difficult as a front lever was something that is extremely admirable. And, we got to chopping it up about his training, and he was telling me that he does handstand training. He does a lot of training with the basics. He does pull-ups, push-ups, dips, so on and so forth. And it really had me thinking about a lot of people's self-limiting beliefs when it comes down to age in calisthenics. And I'm somebody who started training calisthenics a little bit later as well. I started training around the age of 31, 32. Now I'm 40, about to be 41 in a month, and I'm stronger than ever. As you guys can see in this video, I'm working on doing the reverse muscle up, which is something I would have never even dreamed about doing in my 30s. But now at the age of 41, I'm making some good progress towards that movement, which is a very high level skill in calisthenics. So age really, as much as it is a factor, it also is not a factor. I think that with age, we can have realistic expectations into how we train, but I also think that we need to get rid of that word realistic when it comes down to what we can accomplish as calisthenics athletes. For those of you who've been following my channel over about the past year, you'd see that I participated in a calisthenics battle. I believe it was last November, so I was 40 years old. And I was competing in my first calisthenics battle, and I actually was competing in the battle against another high-level athlete who was also in his 40s. And this brother's name is Pete. Maybe I'll post some clips of him doing some exercises on here. But this dude is in phenomenal shape. You never believe that he was 40 years old. And another thing that you would never believe is that he only started calisthenics like 2.5, 3 years ago. The dude is super proficient when it comes down to, the basics. He can do a lot of volume. His muscle up is one of the cleaner muscle ups I've seen in the calisthenics game. Ring muscle ups, the dude is doing like 70-pound ring muscle ups, and I think his body weight's only like 175 pounds. But I'm just sharing this with you guys to say that even if you're starting calisthenics at 40 years old, you can still get to an extremely high level. And even at, I believe Pete's like 42, 43 years old, even at 43 years old, he's still honing more skills. He started working on the handstand, and, he's adding to his repertoire. And this is the mindset that we all should be having. If we are calisthenics athletes or hybrid athletes, we should always be looking to add more tools to our tool belt, no matter what age we're at. Age is only going to be a barrier if you make it one. And what I mean by that is making the wrong decisions when it comes down to your diet, your rest, and your recovery. Now, of course, we're not 18 years old. We're not 20-year-olds. We're not in our 20s anymore. So we can't train like an 18-year-old with no responsibilities. We can't train like a 20-year-old who recovers, with the snap of a finger. Our body takes a little bit longer to recover now. We need a more sufficient and thorough warm up now. Having a mobility routine is essential for those of us 40 plus. Our diet is much more important now. And when it comes down to our diet, we really need to be locking in and thinking about weight management. As we age, we're naturally going to fill out. We're naturally going to put on weight. Our metabolism is going to slow down. That's not the worst thing in the world. But with our metabolism slowing down and us naturally putting on a little bit more weight, number one, we have the opportunity to put on more muscle with that weight. But also, we really need to be dialed in when it comes down to everything that we have going routine wise in order to make sure that our body fat percentage doesn't go too high. And also just to make sure that we don't gain an excessive amount of weight that's going to make it harder for us to get proficient at calisthenics. If you guys have been watching my content, you know I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 195 pounds. I'm what you would consider a heavyweight calisthenics athlete. Calisthenics is more difficult for those of us who are taller and heavier, but it also can be more beneficial for us. But in order for us to progress at the rate that we want to progress, we all have goals in calisthenics. We might be looking to accomplish a new skill. Maybe we're trying to unlock the front lever, or we're trying to unlock the planche, or maybe we're trying to get our first muscle up. Maybe we're trying to hit 30 reps of unbroken pull-ups. Whatever your goals are in calisthenics, we all have our own individual journey, but being heavier is going to be something that's going to be detrimental. So weight management is important, and that's something that you really have to lock in on and key in on as somebody who's 40 years old or older. Now, one of the most important things that we need to keep in mind on our calisthenics journey, especially as older and heavier athletes, is that we cannot compare ourselves to younger and smaller athletes. I've been working on the full planche for a few years now. I've been able to unlock straddle planche, and the difference between the full planche and the straddle planche is just astronomical. It's been taking me such a long time. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I get frustrated when I see smaller, younger athletes who are able to accomplish the full planche in a fraction of the time that it's taking me. And for me, my body actually even needs breaks when it comes down to training full planche. So it takes me a lot longer, or it's taking me a lot longer to unlock that movement. But if I was constantly comparing myself to younger 21-year-old athletes or smaller, 5'6", 145-pound athletes, 140-pound athletes, I would have given up on this goal a long time ago. But what I keep in the back of my head is the cool part about me and my journey to full planche is once I unlock that movement, it's going to be far more impressive. How many guys do you know, or how many guys do you see that are 6 feet tall, 195 pounds, almost 200 pounds, hitting a full planche? How many guys do you see in their 40s who are hitting a full planche for the first time? Your goals don't need to be as extreme. You might be trying to unlock your first muscle up. And if you look at it statistically, less than 1% of men of any age can do a muscle up. So as far as general men's perspective, that's an elite performance goal. And if you think about men who are in their 40s and 50s, that percentage dwindles down even smaller. Now, if you guys are looking to progress in your calisthenics journey, if you're over the age of 40, if you're a heavier calisthenics athlete and you need help on your journey, you want to optimize your body, you want to optimize your performance, go to my website, hybridathlete40.com. You can inquire about coaching or book a consultation. If you guys got some value from this video, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers. That's a huge milestone for me. And if you guys are into this type of content, I'd love to have you a part of this community. Hope everybody's having a great day out there. Peace.